Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. And let's get straight into it. You know what, I read a tweet this morning, and when I saw that tweet, I was like, wow, is that the mood of the fans right now? There was a fan that said, for the first time in 30 years, I'm not even looking forward to Arsenal's game today. And I was like, wow, this is the start of the season. And this is how some fans are feeling. And you know what? I'm not blaming the guy, right? Because there's been so much frustration around the whole transfer market, the lack of activity by Arsenal, the fact that we haven't bought in the players that we've needed yet, the fact that it just seems like it's the same as last year, where we got off to a great start with Petr Cech and we just haven't, followed that on. The rejections of people like Jamie Vardy, who we're going to be up against today, by the way. And I was just like, it's some fans, that's how they're feeling at the moment. It's so down. And this is a time of the season where we should be feeling up. We should be feeling, really pumped up for these games. We should be looking forward to seeing star players. You saw Manchester United last night with their fans, able to see all these new players, Pogba, Mkhitaryan, Zlatan scoring. You can just imagine they left that ground so excited. They went there so excited. But with us at the moment, it's just the vibes is dead. And I just really think that the manager has really missed the trick this season. It was going quite badly for him last season. There's a lot of negativity around. It ended up, with us finishing second. We got one over Tottenham. Everyone was like, okay, right, we're going to give you another chance. Let's see what you do this summer now. Give us something. And he just has not delivered. And the main area that's really concerned me throughout the whole summer is the striker. Last season, we didn't score enough goals. Arsene Wenger himself admitted that is where we fell down. We didn't score enough goals. Now, Alexander Lacazette has been one of those targets. After we missed out on Vardy, we apparently put in a bid for Lacazette of £29.3 million, which was turned down. It doesn't look like we've returned to put any future bids in for Lacazette. I remember when I was speaking to the CEO a couple of weeks ago, and when I mentioned Lacazette, listen, he didn't say anything about it, but I just picked up the vibes that they weren't interested. And to see Lacazette score 2 more goals last night, that's now 2 games, 5 goals in 2 games he scored. All right. I know a lot of people are going to say, like, the goals that he scored last night were 2 penalties, but he still scored them. We missed a penalty last week, by the way. Don't forget. So Lacazette scoring 5 goals in 2 games. A guy that we haven't really pursued. We put in an initial offer, and it's almost like we've said, right, well, he ain't worth no more than that. And we're not going back, which all along this summer I think is a big mistake. We're going to have to pay way over the odds to get a player like that. But it looks like now, the guy's back at Lyon. I've been to, if you've ever been to Lyon, they've got a brand new stadium. They're in the Champions League. They're a very well supported team. All right, they probably won't win the French league because obviously they're up against the might of PSG. Now the guy's starting to feel comfortable, and he was asked yesterday about leaving the club, and his quotes were from Lacazette: "Concerning my personal situation, I don't think there will be a departure from Lyon. Everything is going really, really well here." Now, for me, I kind of starting to think that, there will be no bid for Lacazette, that the Lacazette deal is going to be, that's dead. Unless Arsenal come with a stunning, last minute bid that they just can't turn down Lyon, I just can't see them selling at the moment, Lyon. Because they know that they can hold on to him. If it doesn't go well for them in the Champions League, maybe they could try and sell him in January. They hold a lot of the cards. We should have moved earlier on in the summer when we identified Lacazette to try and bring him into the club. We didn't do that, and I think we've messed up big time on this one. There's people out there that I was at the game last week, and there was a guy that I sit next to, and he said to me, "Robbie, I don't think he's worth that. I don't think he's world class." And as I keep saying to people, yes, he's not worth that. Yes, he's not world class yet, but could he be a player that if he's playing amongst better players, become world class? Because he's obviously a poacher. He's a goal poacher. If we didn't have enough goals last season and you got a goal poacher out there, why not bring him in? He's quick in behind. But it doesn't seem like Arsene Wenger fancies him. And it's starting to look to me like we will not get a striker deal done this summer. I cannot think of any other target out there that Arsenal are going to try and buy. All the sounds that are coming out of Arsenal at the moment is that they're starting to look, again, just using what we've got. Now, we've done that for the past 3 years and it hasn't got us anywhere. Why are we gambling again? We are gambling. Man United ain't gambling. Manchester City ain't gambling. You know, these teams are going out there and they're being decisive. We are gambling. But if we don't get another striker in. Now, we're gambling on Alexis Sanchez. Now, don't get me wrong. Alexis Sanchez is world class. He's a world class player. He's proved it. Didn't have the greatest of seasons for us last year due to fatigue, due to injuries. If we can get him fit, I have no doubt he can do the business, but we are gambling on that. We're gambling on Theo hopefully having a season where he's not injured. We're gambling on maybe Welbeck coming back. Remember that how that news kind of slipped out yesterday. I wonder why, right? We're gambling on him coming back round about, you know, January time probably. We're gambling. Why are we gambling where this is a season where we could have made a positive statement and just went in there with what we needed? Get a striker. I know there's not loads of them out there, but get one. One. And it doesn't look like we're going to get that. Arsene Wenger's yesterday extensive quotes about Alexis Sanchez. He was asked about if Alexis Sanchez can play up front, and he said, these are his quotes, he said, Alexis can develop into a Luis Suarez or Sergio Aguero if he's played regularly as a striker. He has similar qualities and he has a good timing of run in behind defenders. Let's see. It's interesting to see how he will cope with that, right? That is what Arsene Wenger said. So in other words, as I said, he's gambling. Let's see. It'll be interesting to see how he copes with that. Last week, it didn't work. I know it's only one game, but it didn't work. Let's see what happens. I mean, last year he was absolutely brilliant against Leicester. But is he an out-and-out striker? Or is he a guy that likes to be involved in the game all the time? When you play sometimes as a striker up front, you know, you might have long periods when the ball doesn't come to you. I don't think Alexis is that type of player. He likes the ball at his feet. He likes to be, you know, moving. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're gambling on that. Arsene Wenger also had other quotes when he was being asked about the striker position. He was being asked about guys like Theo Walcott. And his quotes on that was, it's an important season for Theo because last year he had a difficult period, to say the least. He said he can play as a striker and his numbers are excellent when he plays up front. We've got Giroud, Sanchez, Walcott, Akpom and Yaya Sanogo, who's still here but is injured at the moment. He's been injured literally since he's come to this club, right? But he said he's injured at the moment. And players we buy have to be better. Is he being serious? Look, I believe a club like ours is focused on giving chances to our players we develop in our own club. We have a few strikers who have a chance. If we find the right players, we will buy. But if you ask people, give me names. Sorry, if you ask people to give you names, you see that it's not easy. Look at a club like Real Madrid. Who have they brought up front? It's very difficult. Well, hold on a minute, Mr. Wenger. Two things, Yaya Sanogo. Are you serious? No. Lacazette's out there and we're talking about Yaya Sanogo. Right, and then on top of that, this thing about Real Madrid, he's saying that, listen, I know it's a struggle to buy quality players out there at the moment because there's just not like 5, 6 Lewandowskis out there that you can go and put a bid in for. There's just not that quality of strikers at the moment. They're all already at top clubs. But to say that yeah, you know, try and make a comparison with Real Madrid. Listen, up front, they've got Cristiano Ronaldo, scored 50 goals last season. They've got Gareth Bale, right? They've got Karim Benzema, right? Remember, they've just bought back Morata. They don't need to go and get a striker, right? I know every year they like to, you know, do their Galactico move, but and plus they just won the Champions League. They've won the Champions League twice in the last 3 seasons. We can't be compared at the moment with clubs like Real Madrid. Let's not talk about that. We need to get done. We need a striker. Yeah? They've got loads and loads of goals across that front three. Right? They don't need a striker. So it's no comparison. No comparison, Mr. Vic. What? Stuff like that drives me crazy. And that's what's getting fans really frustrated at the moment. Really frustrated that you have a fan saying that for the first time in 30 years, it's like he's not even looking forward to the game. That's not my personal opinion. I'm really looking forward to the game today, but I understand that fan's frustration. Joel Campbell, the fall guy, as it seems, at Arsenal. Now, we're reading today in the Portuguese publication, a Jogo, that Joel Campbell may be going out on loan to Sporting Lisbon before the window closes. They're even interested in taking him on a permanent deal. Again, I don't understand it. I mean, when I got to the game last week and the team, I was with DT and he told me the team, and then I said, oh, who's the subs? On the subs bench, no Joel Campbell. I was like, Joel Campbell has been our best player, if you know, amongst the best 2-3 players in pre-season. Why is he not even on the bench? I don't understand this. How can he not be on the bench? Then I started to suspect that, you know, he's going to be the guy on the way out. Now, he seems to be the guy that's the easy guy to just, you know, every time he came in last season for me, he did well. He's a guy that his work rate's phenomenal. He has effect on games. Maybe he's not the greatest player at Arsenal, but I think it's a guy that we should be keeping in our team. It's a sort of guy that, you know, you can play him on the right, on the left. He's a proper team player. I really don't see why we're getting rid of Joel Campbell. You know, this guy's been mucked about since he's been at his club, and I really feel for the guy. You know, maybe it is time for him to move on and find a proper home, but I don't like the way he's been treated, because to me, he should be in the team. His performances in pre-season were excellent, and his performances for Arsenal last year on the whole were excellent. So why is he the guy that seems to be the fall guy? I really don't understand. Bit of good news on the Mustafi thing. There's reports that Arsenal have finally put a bid in of about £26 million, and then now it's just for some of the vibes or some of the things I've been hearing is that it's the agent fees that are stalling the deal. We've heard that before. But it could be a deal that could go through really soon. So if we can get that Mustafi thing over the line, that's really important. And of course, we've got a game today to look forward to. 5:30 kickoff, Arsenal versus Leicester. Last year we beat them 5-2. It was a great result. I remember it's a really hot summer day. Today's completely different. It's pouring down with rain here in the UK. It's cold, it's windy. But hopefully we should have Koscielny back. Surely he's got to be back. Ozil's back in training. Giroud hopefully should be back. How much part of the game they'll play, I don't know. They've had their extended rest. But we really need a victory in that game. I mean, you know, I'm just hoping and praying that we get a win. You know, I don't want to come out of the ground to have to just speak to fans that are just even more upset. But that's what's going to happen if we lose. We really need a result from that game. I hope the players are really up for it. Leicester are going to be up for it. It's their first home game as champions, remember. Massive game. This is why we should have been really prepared for these games, because the first 2 games for us, massive games. But hopefully we can get something positive out of the game. It's going to be really tough though. I'm looking forward to it. Don't forget, straight after the game today, we've got a new show starting called AFTV Extra. Make sure you get involved in that. Send in your comments to that show that they can read it out. Also, you can tweet in comments, try and get involved in the hangout. It's being hosted by Mem. Should be a really great show. And then straight after that,